Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second half
Mm.
of TCL Season 8, where we have the the ego namesake Tasty Crab Legs facing off against Off the Leash. It is Bad Barn versus I'll Take Mid round. God knows how many. I'm
We're at
gonna
that
have to crunch
midway
the numbers
point,
lifetime.
Jaws. We're right
Uh,
halfway.
Oh yeah, we are. Well, no, I'm talking about like lifetime because these two have
Ah,
duked it out so many different times. But the king of the Yapapotami, I'm actually casting for the first time in 8 seasons of TCL Loosive. How's it going,
mm.
Loosive? How you feeling about this matchup?
Good, man. Yeah, I think this matchup is going to be very good. I think as it's build and as it's built across this season so far, this is looking like probably two of the strongest teams that we have. So I'm very excited. Someone, God, please, needs to put Abarn down a peg. So if for nothing else, man, I'm rooting for that. And yeah, man, I'm happy to try out my career of casting, seeing as my league career is not panning that great this season. So we're gonna have a good one, you and me, Jaws. And for all the Rudy fans, I apologize. He's down a little sick, so you'll have to suffer through me yapping for just a minute here.
No, hey, you'll be good. Honestly, as the king of the yappers, you are perfectly suited for shoutcasting. So very excited to have you here. I was joking with Lucive. I was like, Lucive, I'll do my best to just kind of call the shots. You just have opinions, and Lucive has no shortage of opinions for those of you that know him well. So very
That's
excited to kind
talking
of
too
chat
well.
more. But yeah, let's have some opinions about this matchup because everybody talks about kind of Abarn versus I'll Take Mid, the mid lane matchup. Abarn, kind of the macro master. It's so annoying how he can just find ways to win the game. 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Very, very difficult to beat, especially once he has a lead. Manages his teammates well, but he's not the only person on this squad that is, cracking some skulls. On the other side, we've got I'll Take Mid, no slouch himself, not only as an individual player, but in terms of a team builder, won a couple titles. The I'll Take Mid Caridian Mind Meld is in full
Hmm.
effect. And basically, against everybody that isn't named Abarn and Tasty Crab Legs, they're looking pretty nasty.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you just look at the last game, the last set that they just had alone, I mean, they've probably put one of the most complete performances together. Even the shaftings my team has taken on, to the aside here, I think what they've shown with their ability to make some team plays together, like you said, with the mind meld, I think Ceridian's really coming into his own as an ADC player, known as a bit of a fill guy himself. But I'm very excited individually across these lane matchups. I think it's going to offer a lot of excitement in the bot lane, obviously my home kingdom. Talon's been extremely consistent, just a strong carry player. IRAP always offering something a little nuanced that he'll call it himself. But Nomad too has probably shown to be one of the better supports, if not the best support today. So that'll be interesting in the jungle. I mean, obviously, I think you give the edge to Teague over Chuck, but you never know. And then on the flip side, for the top side, and this is why I think it's going to be interesting just across the board today. Calvert probably has an edge over Hippo, but when the jungle has an edge over Chuck, who's really going to come out on top in those 2v2s? It's going to be very explosive. I'm so excited to see it.
Yeah, that's true. And I would say this is probably one of the most interesting matchups in the top lane. The A-Barn I'll Take Mid is easy to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times it really is okay. I'll take mid. Maybe we'll get a solo kill. We'll force some summoners, and then A-Barn will just farm away. He's so good at kind of managing his farm,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, getting what he needs. But Hippo and Calvert, like you said, that is pure volatility, depending upon what we're looking at.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
100%,
we
man.
are into champion select as we're kind of ticking down for the first ban. But that's really the matchup that I'm looking at. You mentioned Teague versus Chuck. Absolutely, I got to give Chuck a lot of credit. He's really settled into understanding the assignment. Right, he's got
Mhm.
so many playmakers. They really don't need another one, and he's done such a good job of really settling and going, okay, my job is to be aggressive, look for opportunities, and just tank as much as I possibly can. And he's doing a great job on it. As we see Echo banned away from I'll Take Mid, Darius away from Hippogriff. So just wanted to give a call out. Teague on the other side, just pretty lights out. Pretty scary on whatever he's playing at. Can be potentially baited in as being over aggressive, but honestly, I'll take an over aggressive jungler over a passive jungler any day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got the fingers to do it too. So I would not be surprised to see Nocturne be prioritized for Teague this match. I know it's strong in the meta and something he's shown some comfort on. As we see Tom Kench, so just banning the comfort picks out. Calbert, very strong on Tom Kench. Echo, obviously, everyone knows mid champ. Darius is a Hippo classic. I think they're probably both taking the line here that it's going to be tough to ban out each other's mid laners too deeply. And there
Oh,
comes
there's the
Nocturne
Nocturne ban.
ban. Yep, that
Yep,
makes sense for
called it.
Teague, very meta.
Actually, it's interesting you say that because I've never really seen Nocturne be super great in TCL. I think I've been on a lot of casts where, oh, Nocturne's really strong, it's really strong in the meta, but just the infrequency of his ult requires so much coordination. A lot of times you'll see the junglers kind of go after it, be aggressive, and then it doesn't pay off and he's just kind of running around. So
yeah, and I hate to give
one of those guys that could definitely make use of it, but just saying.
For sure. I hate to give Abarn some credit here, but I think the one thing that Abarn does do well in a team fighting scenario, solo queue obviously, ranking inside and everything else, is Abarn is very good at being mobile on the map and finding himself, like with the Rise that we see banned here.
Yeah,
available to make a
double
quick
global with Nocturne and Rise would be very, very scary. As Yorick, I did want to call out a ban. Calbert, just aggravating on that champion, and not a champion that you typically see as really dominant in a team environment, but in a split push situation, he really showed what you can do with Yorick.
Yeah, I mean, I think he went like, what, 20-0 against my team with it, so, you know, I appreciate giving it a ban here. I think he showed enough proficiency to potentially do that. Galio picked up. I think that's likely an IREP lean. I know Abarn has the ability to play it, but I know IREP is probably much more comfortable. But it does kind of prep the draft here to say, hey, if you go heavy AP, we're going to be able to punish that. A lot of meta AP junglers, so we'll see how that kind of changes maybe the draft over here.
Yeah, sure. And Chuck does have a very AP heavy pool. I don't know if we're going to see the Lily, but yeah, Zach, a Mumu. Zach is grabbed, so Galio potentially discouraging it, but they're going to take Comfort. Comfort is king in the TCL. And we've seen IREP, especially with Tasty Crab Leg's ability to extend fights. The Galio is fantastic for that, where if they can, take a 2v3 and kite and last as long as they possibly can, Galio, superhero Marvel lands into the middle of the fight and completely flips it, as we see Ezreal being locked in, one of your personal favorites.
Now, I'm going to throw something out there, and this is going to sound maybe a little wacky. I'd be curious to see if it's potentially Zach top, Ezreal mid. I know that in LCS we've run a couple Ezreal mids pretty recently. It looked pretty strong. I don't know. Ezreal ADC is my favorite.
Ezreal AP, like kind of poke.
Still building at AD, man.
Or is he still just hybrid?
Building AD, kind of like the normal, man and Zane or whatever the hell they call it. But yeah, I've seen it locked in mid lane. I'd be curious to see if mid would try his hand at it, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, but we got the Twitch being busted out, so
like it.
Talamit, yeah, it's always fun to see a Twitch, and Twitch is one of those champions that just changes the way you have to play. Gragas being gragged for Teague, Gragas pretty darn strong in this meta as well. The displace can be a bit of a coin flip, but Teague, as you said, he's got the fingers, he's got the mechanics. He can probably pull it off and make sure that his barrels are a plus and not a minus for his squad.
I'm actually liking this draft and the wrinkles that they're putting into both, because I'm also still not convinced that Gragas might not be a top lane pick. I'm not.
Gragas top is great.
Yeah. So we'll leave this. I'm not entirely sold that the junglers have actually been picked here, but maybe that's just me looking for some content.
I will say, if I were Abarn, I would trust Teague with Gragas barrels more than I would trust Hippo. But that said, and having played a ton of Gragas top, it's a very nuanced, flexible champion, and a lot of it is about reading your matchup and trying to figure out what is the best way, because Gragas can play pretty much any role on a team. That's why he's such a great pick. But if I had to pick, I would definitely want Gragas in the jungle, just because of that flexibility and because of Teague's ability to really adapt to what his team needs, and get Hippo on something that is a little more comfortable. Because I would say in the 1v1, I actually really do like Hippo against Calbert straight up, especially with them targeting, potentially targeting out Calbert a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Hippo is a very, I hope he won't take this as flame at all because it's not meant as it, but very feast or famine. Like, if Hippo gets rolling, he can go 20-0. If it doesn't get rolling, alternatively go 0-20.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see, like I said, if they want to put the Gragas top or not. Probably going to find out quickly here, especially if they figure out their top or jungle for sure on OTL. I do personally, with the team comp that they have here, would love to see Teague have something with a little more agency to carry than maybe a Gragas, who is a good initiator to do stuff. And there's the
Pantheon top. It's gotta be
on top, for sure.
Gotta be. Unless they're letting Nomad just go absolutely bananas, or it's I'll take I'll take mid Pantheon, but that feels like a bit of a flex grab. Pantheon top.
Nautilus is definitely a Nomad champ, so I think we kind of see potentially our bot lane there with Ezreal and Nautilus, as we see. Okay, it's going to be a Gragas jungle.
And then Irelia mid. Yep, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because
Very
Avarn ran the
interesting.
Aurelia in his last series. It looked great. He's always been strong on Aurelia, and that is the nice thing about having the AD champions in the mid lane. It allows you to go a little heavier AP. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a. I don't know if it's going to be a Mordekaiser jungle, but yeah, it's going to be one of Mordekaiser or Gragas is going to go top. One of them's going to go jungle. It's probably, I
Yeah,
would assume
it's
it's going to be
Mordekaiser
Gragas
top.
jungle, Mordekaiser top.
Yeah, for sure. I'm 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Galio Twitch bot lane against an Ezreal, potentially Nautilus lane. Should be good, man. Should be good.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got
Brand
the
mid.
Brand being hovered.
I hate that champion so much. Oh my gosh.
Do you hate that? Do you hate facing that champion, or do you just hate that champion on principle?
I think they really need to do something about his E. Like, at least the range of it being like a point and click, the amount that area covers, especially once he gets like that stupid first cinder item, like whatever that little jar is.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
so much free burn damage for hitting absolutely nothing but just hitting E on like a caster minion. Like when you're in lane, Avar is going to feel the pain as a auto attacking kind of AD mid laner. Like, playing against Brand is disgusting. But yeah, very interesting team comps. I'd be curious to know your take here, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. There's a lot going on here. I honestly wish there'd been a little bit more aggression in the bot lane, especially. Oh no, they grabbed the Ezreal early, so they clearly wanted to grab the Ezreal. So the Twitch in response, like I like the Nautilus. I'm in love with Nomad's Alistar. I think it's great to see Alistar in TCL. He's such a fun champion to watch, and also there's a lot of stuff that he can bring to the table. So I'm always a huge fan of him because he can engage, he can kite, he can do that. Nautilus can do that as well, but Ali is a little bit more of a security detail than a hard engage. He can hard engage, but his flexibility plus the sustain plus the situational tankiness, like I just love a lot of what Ali can do. So that's the only thing that I would say is like I wish that they had just stuck with what they're good at. I know that Nautilus is a go-to Nomad champ, but I really would have loved the Alistar just because I like Alistar as a champion, and especially against a fairly low outside of I'd say Gragas Aurelia, fairly low mobility team. Ali can do some serious damage, and he can lock a lot of people up. So right now, as it stands, they need a hook to land. They need skill shots. They need there's a higher degree of difficulty on the side of Off the Leash. Not to say that there's not a degree of difficulty on the side of Tasty Crab Legs, but Tasty Crab Legs is going to have the natural advantage just because they have the confidence. They're clearly vibing as a team, and that's what Off the Leash has to overcome. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. If you have any opinions, feel free to jump into Law 1. Give Loosive and I a little bit of a break before we shout into a microphone for the next hour. But yeah, Loosive, what you got?
Yeah, man, I'm curious to see top lane. I know that Calibre loves his Pantheon. If he can run over the Mordekaiser early before it gets to a point of level 6+, will be interesting to see. Gragas Zac, 2 tanks. Gragas provides a lot of peel from the direct engage, so I think it does quite nicely into a Pantheon Zac Nautilus to provide some room to breathe for Twitch, Galio as well for that. If Twitch can get rolling, and I think the bot lane will probably be the focal point here. Could be a probably good look for Avarn's team, for Tasty Crab Legs to have those team fights that they're looking for. They have the option to engage. They also have, more importantly, the option to peel. Kind of like you said, being flexible. Like Gragas offers unlimited flexibility to either go in or play back. Same with the Galio, can go in or play back. I think it's gonna be, like you said, probably easier for them to pilot their champs. At the same time, just the burst damage they have with a Brand, Nautilus, Pantheon, as well as Ezreal in these early fights. So like, everyone hitting level 6 for the first time, fighting for early dragons and void grubs. I think I'd give the edge to OTL, but it's gonna be interesting to see. I think this is like some very balanced team comps. Both have a way to play that is not impossible to do, or something that's like, oh geez, you need this to absolutely happen or the game's lost early.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good one, man. I'm excited to see it.
I'm gonna give a little bit of a spicy take. I think that I never like seeing Pantheon as a pick. I never do. I think it is a high risk pick in amateur league because it assumes the team's ability to close out a game with an advantage early. And I think we've seen time and time again that just does not happen. So
no Ignite on the Pantheon either. Sorry to jump in on you.
That's a great call out, right? That is, if you're gonna make a bet, and Pantheon is a bet, right? It's a big bet. It says we are gonna win the game before 25 minutes, right? We're gonna win the game before 30 minutes. And I think that when you're going up against Tasty Crab Legs, who have shown time and time again that they are so good at stalling games out and getting what they need, really want to take that bet. And Hippo, you know, we were talking about, oh, we could go 20-0, 0-20. I think he's a little bit of a victim of playing in TCL for too long. I don't think he's as volatile.
Aren't we all,
serious.
Josh?
I think
Aren't
in
we
this
all?
season, I think in this season he is not as volatile as he used to be. I think that he has developed a reputation over the years, but I think he's done a great job this season of really showing how to be a more patient laner. He still gets caught out, right? Players are players; they have their own tendencies, but I think he's done a much better job of really doing his job and making sure that he doesn't become a liability for his team. And so, you know, credit to Calbert. I love being proven wrong. You know, if Calbert goes 6-0 and snowballs the game and calls his, calls his team to a victory, fantastic. But the ability for Tasty Crab Legs to reset the fight is incredibly powerful against a team that's going to pop all of their stuff. And then if they can't just run the fight over, that's a very scary thing against a Twitch and Aurelia, Mordekaiser. Like, there's a lot of people that love longer fights. So that's kind of where I'm at. But we are into it. Jungling starting up. It looks like we've got top to bottom for Chuck, bottom to top for Teague.
Early Twitch mid.
Yeah,
what is going on there?
Ooh, yeah. I'll take mid. Good flash discipline getting away. But yeah, that is the Twitch changing the game. And
what the?
Yeah, that was wild.
Get involved early. IREP gonna come too to try and make some plays bot lane, but yeah, no leash and Twitch is already doing some Twitch things.
Yeah, that was a little scary, but that's having to change the game. But a hook lands from Nomad onto Talon, a little bit of health, actually a lot of bit of health being traded from Caridian. That is not the health you want. You want your support taking that, especially pre-2. And it looks like Caridian and Nomad are going to take that early level 2 advantage. Meanwhile, Hippo and Calbert trading in the top lane. Hippo, you need to be super duper careful. You do not win this one, and I don't think he's going to win this one for a while.
Wow, I would be yelling at Riot coding that hook went around that minion if I was playing Twitch like Talon there. That was kind of crazy. Nice hook from Nomad. Like we said, he is a Nautilus player, kind of showing why early to make that work. They are going to be able to get some free damage here a little bit, get some trade back, but a very nice start from the Ezreal. He's right where he wants to be, throwing Qs under turret at level 2 with not a lot of ways that they can respond.
Yeah, for sure. Great shield from Calbert showing the skill matchup side of this. Hippo's going to have to be careful not to just autopilot those Qs because of that shield. He's going to have to track that shield cooldown. But here we see Teague in the enemy jungle, going to try to maybe do a little bit of counter jungling, sees that the red is there, and then is likely going to path top or actually come back mid. He's kind of hovering between the two. He doesn't know where he wants to go. Got to make sure he doesn't walk over this ward. Got to potentially take the long way. Oh, he's not going to take the long way, but walking back through.
Oh, hits
great E from Hippo. Teague is coming in. Does get the stun offs. Calbert's getting low. This is the concern with Pantheon. See you later. First blood. Teague grabs it, and the bottom to top paying off. So they get intelligence on where Chuck is, and they get the early first blood, pushing Pantheon back, and that is not a good situation if you are Pantheon trying to snowball this game early.
Yeah, very, very important kill there to get that over, and yeah, I think Teague will be happy that gank worked out. I'm sure Cal will maybe rue it a little bit, thinking maybe he could have had a flash to get away from that kill, but did save the flash. Potentially that could work out later, but more fighting in the bot lane.
Oh man, more fighting in the bot lane. Talon half health, both people half health, but Nomad
big flash. Here we go.
With the counter engage. Ignite goes down on the IREP, but
poison.
Chugging a potion, and Talon getting the turnaround kill for Nomad. Wow. I was trying to sneak in some goldfish, and of course people are fighting.
These teams aren't going to let you. In goes IREP with the...
Oh boy, here comes it. Little Chuck flying in. IREP goes down, so a bloody exchange, 1-for-1 support for support in the bottom side, but crucially, flash burned on both carries. But a barrier is still alive for Caridian, and lane state definitely in favor of off the leash.
Yeah, I mean, they really got bailed out there. A great gank from Chuck to kind of even that lane up. And I mean, hey, they might have gotten a kill down there, but that CS is already looking a little tough. He just E'd the wave. Not probably going to get many of these ranged minions here now because of it, unfortunately. So
no, yeah, he's way
down
too
14 CS. It's tough.
Yeah, that's the hard thing with Twitch. The worst nightmare of Twitch is having to farm under turret with those poison ticks. It's so much harder to cultivate the wave, and especially when you have 200 health left. Twitch is absolutely paper thin, as we see Teague just living in Chuck's jungle, getting some deep vision. That's something that we've called out, just the value of the jungler vision score, being able to take advantage, has Cop Scuttle, has that deep vision, knows where Chuck is going to be now, and even farm in the mid lane. So some of that potential early harass from Brand not quite sticking. And as soon as Abarn starts getting one of those
here, though.
items, as we see Chuck, let's see what's going to happen. Stun going down, Chuck channeling, Hippo dodges it, does not dodge the pull, does have a lot of health still though, and he's actually going to go for the counter engage onto Calbert, but Calbert has the shield ready, but Hippo doesn't care at this point. He's actually going to try to go for it. Oh, flashes out. Hippo's just jonesing at this point, gets the shield, little bit of fancy footwork. Chuck is just trying to extend this fight for as long as he can, but the downtown spear, great 1v1 play from Hippo, trying to waste as much time as possible, but does go down. Oh no, but here's another hook. Nomad incredibly low. Talon takes advantage. Nomad goes down again. Everybody is just blind, bloodthirsty, fighting all day. Abarn going for a tower dive, does not get the 1v2 kill under turret.
Should get crazy.
Hyper aggro. I guess I'm not done yet. As we see Teague going for the push. Talon is actually trying to go. Oh my god, what just happened, Loosive?
So I'll run that back. Abarn, I think, maybe forgot Zac passive was a thing. Diving a Zac under turret, level 6, gonna find himself dying there. Calbert able to kill him nicely. I didn't exactly see the fight, but I think that was well played from Calbert in the end. Chuck using his passive just beautifully, and then Talon is in a great spot to carry. So some questionable plays, we'll say, from Tasty Crablegs here. At the same time, though, with a Twitch already 3-0, well on its way to Bork, he can start to really affect this game, especially with his invisibility, if they start to look at other lanes, as Chuck is also, again, going to look for maybe a gank here mid. And yeah, he's going to go in, and Abarn, I think, is a bit out of options. No flash on Abarn, no ignite. Chuck's going to go low, and bam, it's taking up that kill. Abarn kind of signed his own death warrant there. No will left behind for the family when he took that Q in just to try and get some trading in. Chuck's been in the right place at the right time for a couple of these last couple of games. We saw it bot lane, and we saw it here mid lane to get mid ahead as well. So it's going to be back and forth in this early game, man. No goldfish for you.
No, seriously, I had to do a bike sprint to get back here to cast in time, and I was not able to eat, so I'm just like trying to shove food in my face as we're doing this. But you know what? I love a high action game. I love a high volatility game because it's way more fun to watch than a farm fest. Let's be real. So if I have to starve for your entertainment, I will do that all day. As we approach the 8-minute mark, we are even, but we're not even because Void Grub's going to the side of Chuck, and just wanted to call out Abarn actually paying the price for his flash being down, trying to greed for that top
down to 6 here. Just go crazy.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to go for it. Caridian and Nomad are not level 6, and there goes the ulti and another attempted tower dive. They do not have minions, guys. Okay, yeah, I'm just feel like people are just autopilot hard. Adrenaline, brainstem is driving right now because everybody just wants a piece of the action. They don't care if there's minions, they don't care if there's towers, they don't care if they don't have summoner spells. Who cares? Just fight and we'll see what happens.
I mean, they can't, I mean, I hate to say it, but they Ezreal and Nautilus can no longer play the game. Like, if they show up and in any way in an even lane state, they are going to be engaged on. The Twitch will kill them with his ulti pretty much on cooldown with this much of a lead. He should have his Bork on back, I want to say, at 9 minutes. Oh,
yeah,
God,
can we see gold,
disgusting.
Please? Can we see gold, please, Mr. Producer? Also, shout out Microscopic Rick on producer, holding it down. Thank you so much for the gold. Let's take a look. Yeah, he's got a lot, and look at how much Chuck has in his coffers right now. He needs to go buy right now. Yeah, he's buying right now. He's gonna have a nice little boost. But yeah, looking at the gold across the way, we are fairly even. Like I said, Void Grub's on the side of off the leash. But relatively speaking, I'm looking for a major. The only major boost is just in that top lane with the Pantheon, but that does fall off. Meanwhile, on the side of that Twitch, we got a 4-0 Twitch.
Yeah,
that is.
Too.
Whew,
they're gonna die here if they come up. I mean, Chuck needs to shield his lane, help him walk it in. Ezreal doesn't have the best wave clear. If they can freeze this lane here, I mean, they're just gonna die. I hate to say it, but
IREP is exactly doing that. That's what it looks like.
This is the type of lane where I'm like, I want to go next already. A full Bork, he can kill you on sight. The wave's frozen. The jungler needs to like handhold the wave push in, and that CS lead that might exist is going to very quickly.
Yeah, there's really much an Ezreal is going to be able to do against a submarine Twitch, especially once Galio's. Never mind, he doesn't have flash. Just kidding. But you know, I was going to say, wait, this is IREP. Of course he doesn't have a flash taunt. What am I thinking? But yeah, just as we see a stun being grabbed from A-Barn, I'll take mid. Nice shoot from A-Barn.
Okay, A-Barn. All right, he came with his fancy feet tonight.
Yeah, I think it was blind actually. He did not. He did. I don't know if he saw. I'm curious if he actually saw the brand, the animation from the brand, or if he just saw the.
Oh, T is really positioned well here too. This could go very poorly. Oh, IREP, go throw your body at them, man. That was a nice counter gank opportunity there, especially with your Twitch at a 4-0 state like it is to get a fight started.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like there might be a little bit of a. A little bit of a, hey, let's be cautious, let's be patient, we know we're ahead, a little bit of that, maybe the adrenaline's starting to wear off, because the first 10 minutes of this game were absolutely non-stop, so everybody might have been feeling it a little bit. Now that, you know, the sympathetic nervous system has settled down, we're into a little bit of neuroscience, everybody's like, okay, we've all murdered, we've rested, we've digested, let's just chill. And that seems to be what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's still, like, I think these are all fine lane states. I mean, Hippo's done a nice job to kind of neutralize the Pantheon running away like a freight train. Mid lane's about even. A-Barn down 2 kills, though, so not exactly what you want to see. But Chuck, again, set up for a gank nicely, and this should be A-Barn dead again.
Yeah, he is. Nomad is there, and Teague trying to make something happen, but this is a 3v2 now. A 3v1 depth charge goes down, bouncing. Teague. Flash going in, counter flash from Teague, and Chuck isn't done. So forcing the flag out from the jungler.
Careful mid, careful mid, careful mid.
For this dragon, yeah, mid slightly out of position because that is a big fat talent. But here comes superhero IREP trying to split the fight, but this is definitely lopsided in favor of off the leash. But the deeps need to be dropping. Talon is just free swinging in the back. Passive is popped for Chuck. Nomad gets the hook down, but Talon once again untouched. Exhaust goes down. Here comes the late teleport.
Oh, flash the wall. Let's go.
Going to come in, try to clean things up. So we've got 3 for 1 in favor of.
Be careful.
Wow, yeah, Talon just the entire time swinging for 3 for 1 double kill for him. Him and Caridian are doing a little dance, and while A-Barn is coming back in. Wow, I mean, Caridian's on the hunt. If there's anything they a flash. Wow. There he goes, and the swag emote. So 3 for 1. Yeah, you got away with your life, but your team kind of got clobbered.
Talon played that so nice the entire time, sidestepping exactly when he needed to dodge just a little bit of the engage. Able to get a lot of damage down, flashed over the wall to finish up mid and make that fight more palatable. Caridian did do a lot of damage in that fight as well, but I got to give some props to pretty much everyone played there. That was a nice skirmish. I think everyone was playing that pretty nicely. Teague was in there. Calvert a nice TP to keep Chuck alive as long as he could to make the fight, you know, as balanced as it could be, and ends up getting a kill for his trouble. It did look like, I think, 1 plate went over top lane, but you'll certainly gladly trade a plate just to make the play there. So nice TP from Calvert to get the fight.
Yeah, we'll take that all day, and especially with Twitch just continuing to get more and more fed, running his way towards his second item. I think he's actually at 2.5 at this point, so he is just out of control, and Talon is strong enough players to see Chuck out of position. His passive is down.
Passive, good flash.
A good flash, great blast cone, gets out of there. Stop farming, dude. They're still around there. You got to be really, really careful. Okay, he's just gonna farm, and A-Barn, yeah, A-Barn's still hovering around.
IREP might get dove here, by the way, bot lane. I know they're looking at him. I see Nomad kind of making a little bit of a look-see-loo around the corner. Not going to go for it.
No, he's not. And Chuck, actually, I will give a call out. He was able to heal off of those jungle things. So now they're going to go for a counter engage onto A-Barn.
I don't think they want this fight anymore.
Teague is there. Barrel pops in. As I mentioned, Chuck's passive is down, but he survives and sustains all doing his best to deal the deep, but A-Barn trying to put the tap shoes on is able to get away, and so now a 3 for 1 again, but this time in favor of off the leash. So Chuck coming in, coming out, doing his best, taking the damage, doing his job.
I mean, I don't know how he died. Unlucky.
Oh, yeah.
But some shutdown gold going over as well to even up the gold score again to about flat. And then, like you said, Calvert is probably the biggest beneficiary of some of these skirmishes, finding his way to 4-1 almost out of nowhere. So well played from him to put himself in a nice position now that, like, hey, if music goes to lane, it's going to be an interesting fight. Do they have a pick on Nomad? Everyone back here. I think it's just him. He's going to drop.
Staying a little bit too long, unfortunately. But yeah, off the leash, we mentioned before, it was really looking like Casey Crableg's game, another step towards an undefeated regular season. But Off the Leash able to take advantage, as you said, of some of these skirmishes, and Talon just getting caught out. And that's how Off the Leash is going to win this game. Catching Talon out, taking him off the map, and the rest of the team is just not going to be able to make up for the damage of that hypercarry.
Yeah, I think the rest of the game, and as much as Talon has 6 kills here, is kind of getting leveled by some of the CS deficits. So, you know, I mean, he's 30 CS behind the top and mid of OTL right now, which is going to keep them on pace with the gold curve a bit better, despite the fact that he has 6 kills to not be so disgusting on the Twitch. Sitting at about an item and a half, which is about what mid's at. It's about what Calibert's at. So he is very fed, but quick kill top, solo, bolo, hippo.
Yeah, that's a big fat bonk, and that is the concern with the Pantheon. Does not matter how ahead you get. Once all these other champions start getting their items, they start getting their gold, it's really not going to matter that much. And Hippo grabs his Rylai's, grabs a little bit of armor to just withstand some of those auto attacks, some of those spears, and just able to get that bonk in. And Mordekaiser is just super duper nasty. Even just
hit the
wow,
stun.
That's a hitbox and a half. I'll take mid going low. And those are once again the Riot Gods smiling upon Abarn with that incredibly generous hitbox.
Yeah, you think this guy's paying them or something? Like, Mark Merrill, you don't need to give Abarn this many freebies. That was right on the edge there, but nice gank. Well played from Abarn to actually hit the stun there to set up the gank. And yeah, free kill, getting mid there as Chuck is just kind of wandering in, seeing what's going on. He does have Caliber behind him here now.
He does, 2v2 once again.
Flash in!
Great flash flop over the wall. Teague in, but on the wrong side of the barrel. Flash, root, see ya later, dead Gragas. So 1-for-1 jungler straight.
Nomad's doing a great job of roaming here too, I gotta say. He's been all over the map. He might be 0-4, but at the same time, he's been in the right place, right time to get some of these kills and skirmishes that look like they might be a little one-sided for TCL to make them a bit more even. So props to him as well, being very omnipotent on that Nautilus right now, at least.
Being super proactive, making sure that he's shadowing where he needs to be going. Probably one of those deaths, I would say, is a death that he would probably want back, but the rest of them seem to be in service of his team, making sure that he is, drawing the ire, getting his CC down, and securing a lot of these kills, or just pushing them off of objectives as we're approaching 18 minutes. Still about a 3,000, a little bit less than a 3,000 gold lead for Tasty Crab Legs, but Tasty Crab Legs also starting to scale, and they definitely scale in many ways a lot better than Off the Leash, especially
Ezreal's going to be finally getting his Trinity Force here, which is a big pickup. Putting him in a spot where he can actually start to do some decent damage in these fights, more so than just a couple of components you have to sit on. I love playing Ezreal. It's just one of those things, you're just waiting on your hands for a little bit to get where you need to be with that item. Now has it fully completed to at least contest a bit more. He is still sitting about an item behind, maybe a little less so than where Talon is now, but Caridian should be able to pick up some damage in these fights, and skirmishing is exactly what Ezreal likes to do. That's kind of what this game state's been, as Chuck is going to get engaged on here.
Yeah, he's going to get engaged on once again. He does, I believe, have his tested.
Yeah,
so yeah, he's just going to get away from there. Does have to burn his ulti, though. Fairly low cooldown on that one, but is still a minor window for them to look at. If I could just get a quick look at the major objective timers. I see Dragons about to pop in about a minute. We do have Herald on. Apologies, Rick, for the hot swap. Thank you very much. Yeah, we see Nomad trying to do a little bit of cleaning. IREP flying in. Chuck counter flying in. IREP says, I see you. Now I'm going to back off. So he burns the ulti. So a couple of key cooldowns burn specifically on IREP. So if Talon gets into trouble, IREP will not be able to superhero in and protect him. Could be some explosive skirmishes or just a straight up fight into this dragon. But Tasty Crab Legs, they've shown a lot of split pushing, a lot of 1-3-1. I don't know if they want a straight 5v5 against this team.
I was about to say, I mean, they used a lot of engage there with the Pantheon ult and some other stuff to bring all 5 people mid. They did get Talon's flash, which is great and all, but at the same time, some more chip damage is going to go down on the side lanes as Abarn's engaging on the Brand. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, get that kill. Nicely set up by Teague and Abarn. Looks like they just kind of caught him napping in between the rotations, and that's some of the problem with an immobile mid like Brand can be.
That's unfortunate with mid. Mid usually is such a playmaker. Brand not able to do as much. And being more of a press the buttons. Oh, Chuck not able to quite yet.
You just hate to see it, though.
Hey, you know what? Respect, but on the other side, T grabbing that for free. So Chuck burning a lot of time, not quite managing his timing as well as he would have liked. Double taunt. There's a great barrel
nice
from T,
engage.
isolating out to Zach, popping the passive immediately, and Twitch just opens up. Nomad melting. Here comes the teleport coming in from Calvert. Calvert's going to try to bring some heroics into the
nice stun.
Right, I'll take mid. I'll take mid is there, but he's on the wrong side of the fight.
Please,
not tanky enough into the death realm immediately, and Hippo getting stunned under turret flashes out, but this is a bloody fight, 3 for 2 in favor of Tasty Crab Legs. So yeah, good, but not exactly what they were hoping for. But
they're just battling, man. They're beefing.
Off Leash might be able to sneak this one.
They are just beefing right now, back and forth with these skirmishes. A 2 for 2 here. They are not afraid to throw hands, and it shows. Their gameplay is aggressive and strong. Abarn and Hippo both ending up flashing and fighting underneath the turret there. Talon coming back off back, full HP again. Gonna be able to get some poison.
Yeah, the shield able to. I believe he was either outside or the shield was able to ignore it. I don't have a exact understanding of what the shield can ignore if it's the taunt as well, but either way, taunt doesn't land, they're able to walk away, but that Talon just walking up, not even having the spray and pray, just melting through what is, Calbert's decently tanky even though he's building full damage.
Yeah, and I think here we're starting to see the propensity of just kind of nay-ramming it a bit. I mean, these skirmishes are happening so often that you think you need to lay an assign to it. I appreciate Abarn and it probably leading his team to be like, okay, guys, back to 1-3-1, 1-3-1. He's getting it on the side lane. Hippo should be able to probably get top turret here just because of the way these lane assignments go and picking up some more standing gold on the map, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, this is something that we've seen, and Twitch also one of those champions that can 1-3-1 very easily, able to get away, able to push very quickly. They're probably going to want him running around good to 3 just to be able to kind of pop off. But yeah, we've seen this strategy honestly since the beginning of the season, the 1-3-1 split with Abarn and or Hippo just getting some kind of advantage and pushing through, and there we see top outer going down, and this is typically where the games flip for Tasty Crab Legs. 20 minutes in, 25 minutes in, and those small gold leads just get so much bigger, so much faster as we see Baron being cleared by team.
Yeah, I mean, 1-3-1 works really well, especially when you have a jungler like Teak who can kind of play in between the two side lanes. We saw the pick earlier on mid with Abarn on the rotations, and you can take advantage and kind of punish the immobility of mid to go in between the lanes, and even Pantheon, especially if he uses ult like we saw mid lane, to get some damage on these turrets. And I think Abarn doesn't want, like you said, it doesn't necessarily want the team fight, happy to do it, but it's probably more comfortable setting himself up on a side lane and saying, hey, I can 1v1 anyone if they come up to me. Let me just get my farm up here, keep the lanes pushed, get that gold that comes from the minion waves, making sure we're not losing anything on the map. And if Talon can stay safe, farm up, he's already 7-1 on the Twitch. Once he gets his Infinity Edge, I mean, he's going to be a monster for nuking the team fights that eventually will happen over an objective here or there. But if there's not an objective to really stand and fight for, there's really no reason to get away from the 1-3-1. So they pick up that gold top lane just a bit ago there. I would say almost a little bit for free. I think maybe just some confusion with the amount of fights happening that OTL got a little out of position there.
Oh, I wonder if Abarn, I don't know if Abarn saw that back, or it was a fake. It was kind of a fake back, but seeing, because they are hovering on that top side. They have fairly strong river control. I'm not seeing, I don't believe, they don't really have the vision that they were maybe hoping for, but next dragon is up in a minute, 1 each, so no team really close to Soul. And yeah, it looks like, oh man, and everything is visible! We are, but yeah, approaching 25 minutes, that Baron dance is definitely going to be started up, but strong deep vision on the side of Tasty Crab Legs. They got that ward over the wall. A couple of small wards. Actually, I think we've only got one. No, it just expired. So off the leash, completely blind in terms of enemy lines, and Hippo pushing up nicely, able to back off. Probably grab buy and set up. No, he's just going to hover around because next dragon is in a minute. Tasty Crab Legs in great position, has the vision. Off the leash, not even close.
Yeah, and Abarn being TP-less is able to still push out his side lane and kind of walk down without it being, a net loss here. Props to Hippo again. Was in a spot where he just needed to not die as they engage a little on the turret here. Very ambitious. I think Irad might have bitten off a little more than he can chew as the fight is breaking out now.
Yeah, he does, and this is going to be a massively volatile fight in the jungle, and we've got a couple popped off. Hippo actually just solo kills Calvert.
Both top laners down.
1-1, but here comes Abarn, jumping to the back line, obliterates Caridian, and this is just a rout for the side of Tasty Crab Legs. Nobody in I'll Take Mid, maybe looking for a re-engage so that I'll Take Mid can press his buttons, but Talon is looking for one himself. He just wants to go for the quick kill, not going to be able to do it. Dodges outside of it, and this is just going to be a free dragon for Tasty Crab Legs. High Rep bit off a little bit more than he could chew, but once again surviving long enough for the rest of his team to get in position and take that fight.
Abraham looks really, really good on Aurelia right now, I gotta say. Down 0-2 to start the lane phase, but has come back very strong to be active and engaged in these fights, taking down Caridian, fighting in the backline. It looked like I said, oh, I'd engage here.
Barrel,
wow.
See ya. That's an I'll Take Mid dead. And T going off the fancy fingers, guys, for it, but I will take mid for jungler every day a week.
Yeah, good trade there from Nomad to at least get the pick back onto Teague, but nicely played. More kills going over to the Twitch, which is exactly who OTL doesn't want to see get these kills. Is now Avarn is man-moding a 2v1, turning into a 4v1.
4v1. Is this what it's going to take, or will he get a kill himself?
Is he out? No way.
Wall,
ain't no way.
Survives, but now we've actually had a flash. Finally getting the long-range hit, but it took 4 people, and I believe a couple summoner spells to finally knock out Avarn.
Yeah.
Still almost killed Curry.
I think Critty might have had a little bit of a tilt flash there, seeing Avar almost get away. Chuck was able to secure it, but yeah, Avar maybe a little pressed up, a little too far there. Maybe he hears me talking too nice about him. I should tone it down.
It's he's doing okay. Talon just sitting around. This is just like maximum disrespect at this point, where he's just feeling it. He's like, yeah, you know, I want this scuttle too. They want the dragon, they want the Baron, they want absolutely everything, and at this point, with their scalers online and with them finding these picks, they can pretty much do what they want. Chuck just taking a little bit of a hit. Hippo able to get away, rotating back mid, but this is going to be the Tasty Crab Legs Classic. They're just going to push out their waves. They're going to rotate, they're going to take their global objectives, they're going to win their skirmishes, and I got to give Teague a shout out. Gragas is one of the hardest champions to pilot just because his barrel can be such a detriment to your team. He's done a great job of being disciplined with his flops and making sure that he saves the barrel until the flop locks him in place, which is the key Gragas combo. He's executed them effortlessly, and it is not easy to do.
Yeah, that Twitch is the real problem, though, I gotta say, as this game continues to go forward. Ezreal becomes less and less potent. Unfortunately, Talon becomes more and more potent as the game goes. Already sitting on 3 items, very nearly to the last Whisper, and probably likely LDR stage. 4-item Twitch is just, oh man, if you don't get onto him in the back line, you can kiss a teamfight goodbye.
Yeah, that game's going to be over in a hurry. Avarn taking a little bit of a hit from the Baron. Probably not going to bother him too much. I'm sure there's some dummies around, or he can just heal because he's Aurelia. But we definitely see the noose or the boa constrictor, whatever analogy for a slow win that you want to make, starting to close around off the leash. They need to do something fast, and this is the hard thing about a champion and a comp that just wants to kind of slam you early, because we're at 30 minutes.
Are they on the Baron
They're
right
online, and they are just chilling and pushing.
They are active starting the Baron here. Hippo was like playing very far forward, begging someone to come answer him. They are going to try and start the fight here. T just missing, throwing his barrel now.
Everything, but oh, that's such a cute little play. He gets the barrel into the barrel. A little bit of foresight. Talon is in the back, but he's only able to swing on the Nomad. Avarn's into the back line. He may go down. He
kills Avarn.
Go down. Flash forward in from Hippo after Nomad goes down, but the spray and pray is down, and the rest of the team is saying, hey, back off, back off. So it's a 1-for-1 in favor of no one, actually. I guess just off the leash being pushed back slightly. Hippo going low. Avarn going down, but good play by off the leash to make sure that Talon's damage was limited. Are they going to be able to do anything with it? But the team, the carries and the damage are not on the same page. They need to wait for the reset before they do anything.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. Avarn got a ton of damage as they are going to re-engage here. Chuck is very tanky, though, especially with his Spirit Visage. I think he has completed at this point. But yeah, they were able to get some engage on the Talon. I saw Talon flash out of some of the damage. I don't think he was ever really at risk there. So a nice pickup, at least, to get Talon's flash. It felt like a little bit maybe prematurely. Ultimately, they are going to have a 1-for-1, which I think OTL is happy to take any day and just kind of say, hey, let us get our own gold. We're a little bit far behind ourselves, and no Baron or anything to come afterward anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. They do take they're able to hold on to the red buff. for their troubles. But yeah, that really seems to be the equation if Off the Leash wants to do this, is splitting Talon from the rest of the team, forcing Abarn to try to do some fancy footwork heroics, because outside of those two, maybe Hippo gets a bonk or two, but you know, outside of those two, that's where the damage is coming from. And if they're not in the equation, Off the Leash definitely has a chance. But Abarn is in with Hyrule, gets the stun, that lockdown on the Chuck. He rolling in, exhaust goes down on Caridian. Here comes Albert with the
big ult from Caridian though. Abarn's very low.
Of health bars burning down slowly. Talon is swinging.
Looks like a good fight.
Goes low. Somehow survives. It's a double kill for Take Mid. Finally making his mark on this game, pressing his buttons in these tight quarters and able to push things back. So a
big engage though.
And here comes the re-engage. Talon is there. Talon is doing it. Talon has 2 kills. Calvert
assassinates him.
Caridian is doing it now, and now we've got Off the Leash in this game. 4 for 2. That's the dragon, and we got ourselves a game 1. Thank God.
Calvert and Caridian man-moding it when you need to. Gonna get a stun and a kill on 2.
There it is.
Wow, Calvert is making this pick look really good right now. I gotta give it to him.
Yeah, no, he's doing great. He came in flying through on the re-engage, made sure that he did his job, which was to kill the Twitch. So definitely seeing the value of the pick, where its only job is just to make sure Twitch gets deleted. And when he did that, they're off to the races.
I tell you what, Twitch not having a splash there. I mean, he got popped by Calvert being able to jump over the wall, and a nice E over from Caridian to finish the damage there and kind of isolate the target on the very back of the turkey trot train, we'll say. Yeah, a really, really well-executed fight. Abarn went in and I think finally figured out Nautilus instant-click CC with Brand Ezreal damage over the top was not quite tanky enough to handle them all by himself.
No, that's definitely scary, and this is the downside of this team. This team, they're okay at team fighting, but for Chasing Crab League, they need to have a little bit of an advantage before this team fight, right? They need to have a pick-off, they need to have a lopsided numbers advantage, otherwise they really need to be doing that 1-3-1, and Off the Leash really showing the value of what they can do when they get together and everybody does the job that they need to do. Chuck had to have tanked at least 3,800 damage. His health bar was, he had almost no health left and he was still getting shielded. So really just making sure that he was the lightning rod of hate on the team, doing the main tank's job, and the rest of the team, as you mentioned, able to layer down the damage, and Calvert making use of that Pantheon pick, because that's what he has to do at this late in the game.
Absolutely. I will say, though, all this said, in terms of the game state, Gold evened itself up pretty intensely there, but 4-item Twitch now, when he decides to open up, will have the ability to kind of, you know, eat that front line much more effectively than he was before. So if the next team fight breaks out, I'm going to be interested to see what Talon can get accomplished now that he's got more or less everything he needs to carry a team fight here.
Well, that's going to be the question, is the survivability and the patience of Talon, because the patience in particular is going to tell the tale of this next fight. Can Talon be patient enough and wait for his moment, let his team do their job and set him up for that perfect spray play, or we were saying before, will he show himself a little too early, maybe mistime his cloak, and be in a position where he has to position a little bit more defensively? That's going to be what we're going to need to see. Or can Teague just get a pick off, which he's done so beautifully. I gotta say, even in that fight in the top side that did poorly, I love seeing he dropped the Q and then he barreled him into a barrel. I don't think it resulted in a kill, but it was just such a cool little Gragas play. Speaking of which, Baron being started and stopped without Twitch there. Twitch is there, but Mordekaiser's pushing up, and yeah, it looks like they're going back to the well, and they're going to go with the 1-3-1.
No Man's doing a nice job of keeping Vision where he needs to be. Everyone knows Abarn loves to start objectives to at least ask the question, do you want to fight? Do you want to position? If you don't look at us, we're going to go ahead and just take it for free. So he's been in a nice spot to drop a pink ward to make sure nothing goes outside of Vision for free, and they're able to just say no thank you as they start the Baron again. They love to do this kind of stuff and say, we can tank it if you guys don't show up, we're going to take it for free.
Yeah, and they can take it incredibly fast. They have the
going low. Here comes Chuck. Chuck stole it.
There he goes. Teague gonna try to cover, but here comes Pantheon, just gonna try to stop this fight immediately. It's a 4v4.
Talon's way forward.
Actually fighting on the wrong side of the map, trying to prevent Hippo from joining the fight.
It's a disaster.
It's a solo kill, and Abarn is now in full retreat. Twitch is down. Hippo is down. The Baron is off the leashes, and they are just going to walk down these lanes. Wow,
Oh,
what a play.
Talon was just in the middle of nowhere and got engaged on for free by Nomad. Well played. Killed him quickly, and now they're going to be able to push. And they might get some inhibs at least a couple inhibs, probably 2 here. They're going to go all in on IREP.
He's a tanky boy. Chuck coming back, wants a little bit more. He's feeling it. IREP goes low. Abram goes in. That is the rest of the team. Teague is there trying to tank, but Chuck low. Gets out of there. The rest of the team is here. Pantheon diving deep into the back. Does get exhausted under turret. He is going to get the kill. That's going to be the rest of the team. That's going to be middle inhibitor, and that could potentially be game 1.
I think it is. Here comes Talon to answer it. He has his ulti. Doesn't have his ulti, maybe. Oh, good flash. Might get mid. Okay. Gonna probably save the game with that kill, though, I gotta say. Chuck's gonna engage.
But they do still have Gritty in here, so they do have the deep. They can at least take 1 inhibitor turret.
They're going for it. Oh, he has his ulti. He got hooked.
Goes in, immediate hook.
Nomad.
Great patience from Nomad. Everybody is burning down and going low. Gritty has no health, and a no health support AD combo. See you later. That's game 1 off the leash. Immediate AFK from A-Barn.
Nomad with the hooks when they matter, man.
Wow.
Goodness.
What an incredible game. You know, I gotta say, Loosive, Rudy is my boy, and I love casting with him. I'm also so glad that you got to come out and cast this one with me, because this is an absolute banger of the series. Rudy, I see you in chat. I love you. Excited to cast with you again for probably every other one. Yeah, what an incredible game 1. Break it down.
I mean, that game went 0 to 100 very quickly there. I think I got to give some credit to Nomad big time there. Calvert as well. Picking the Twitch before Baron. Chuck with the steal. Didn't talk enough about that because it just kind of went crazy afterward. But stealing the Baron, getting the fight, the pick on the Talon turned into just a 1-after-1. The tank boys were doing enough with the Baron buff to get a couple kills, fighting A-Barm, killing Teague. I think they're going to be so mad they let that one go, because I think they were in a decent spot and just spiraled so quickly. Talon at the very end was just a fraction away from being able to save that game and continue it on, but just well played. Nomad hitting every hook he needed to hook, weaving it in so well to stop the damage, and they were able to end when they needed to, because that Twitch, we see with the damage charts here. I don't know if you guys can see on stream. Yeah, you can.
God, yeah.
Did do the most in the game. Probably had more to give if the game went longer, but just sat down by the Nautilus, who played so well. So if that's what game 1 was, I really hope we go to 3 games.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a fun one. Such a close game, back and forth the entire time, especially in that last fight. Just a couple call outs. Want to call out Calvert. I definitely said I'm not a fan of the Pantheon pick, just because he can really fall off a cliff. What I liked is that Calvert knew the limitations of the champion and said, my job is to kill or disrupt the most important person in this fight or in this situation. He did it once in a fight with the Twitch, killing him, and he did it once in a 1v1 against Hippo, where he said, if Hippo joins this fight's over. So he made sure that Hippo did not join that fight. Yeah, just Nomad. I think towards the end of that, he landed everything he needed to on Talon, just to lock him down and knock him out. But that is game 1. We're gonna take a very quick break. When we come back, it's gonna be game 2. Don't go anywhere, folks. All right, everybody, welcome back after a high-flying roller coaster. I'm sure you can think of a couple others, Loosive, of a game 1. We had, TCL. I think both teams, we were saying, came out just absolutely firing. Who needs decision-making when you can just press buttons and run at each other? It looked like Tasty Crab Legs had the game at 25 minutes, as has been their entire season, but Off the Leash refused to lose. Couple clutch plays from Calvert, an absolutely bananas Baron steal from Chuck, and here we are, 1-0 Off the Leash, on the precipice of defeating the undefeated Tasty Crab Legs.
It was just an electric game, wasn't it? I mean, call it what it was. Like, we're all just having a beer league. It's a good time here. But that felt like some higher quality gameplay where both teams are playing a bit to their strat. We saw the 1-3-1 provide a lot of dividends. But as soon as TCL kind of got away from that, and as we recall, took the initiation on the Baron that allowed Chuck to get the steal and everything else to kick off around it, it was like, man, I wonder what the game would have been like if they just been a little more patient, kept it going, because I think both teams were just so postured to win there. And ultimately it was OTL that took the bull by the horn, said, "Nah, we're gonna drive this pony home," and the Ants came marching in 1v1 out of the base, and Talon wasn't quite able to save the game despite his best efforts, still doing the most damage in the game. And man, I'm excited for game 2. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, it really did. We were talking about just how much it would come down to Talon. And in those last two fights, not able to do what he wanted to do, partially maybe a little bit of miscommunication from the team, a little bit of misaligned priorities, but also just got to give credit. And I said it before, I was a little down on the Pantheon pick just because of how high risk it is. And it is, right? If you as a Pantheon player, as you scale, you're not as comfortable in that situation, and you don't kind of understand the strengths, weaknesses, limitations, all that stuff. Pantheon can really struggle, but Calbert knew what he needed to do and did exactly that, disrupting some of those high problematic targets, not just the Twitch, but also the Mordekaiser, preventing Hippogriff from pulling into that fight and isolating one of those key carries. And then, as you said, yeah, they just walked right in like it was one of those action movies. And you got the stuntman rolling in, they did something cool, and then they just died, and that was the end of the fight.
Now, I'm going to get you with a little bit meta here, but Calbert and Chuck are both very big momentum players, like to type it up in the all chat, let people know what's going on. So I think that game 1 win, too, the way it happened, Chuck getting that steal and Calbert doing what he did, I think they're going to be very ready to rumble for game 2. It's going to be up to the Crablex to try and provide a little wrinkle to the equation here. So I'm excited to see if there's going to be any draft adaptations. We see the first one here with the Galio ban, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, they're taking away the Galio from... Yeah, actually taking away the Galio from mid. So we have swapped sides. So we have off the leash on the blue side. They are taking away Nocturne again from Teague. So making sure that they don't deal with that double global. Actually, it would have been, it's almost like a submarine. I don't know if you remember the classic submarine with Shen and Twitch, but kind of a variation on that where they could get Rise, Twitch, Nocturne. None of that is on the table. Hippogriff not getting his favorite Darius. Calbert not getting his favorite Tom Kench. The Nico hover, the Nico lock. We got a Nico.
That's a fun one. I mean, I think in terms of control mages, Mig can play just about all of them, but Nico always is a bit of a brain check, and I think the later into a series it goes, the better the value that champion gets. So a nice game 2 adaptation, a good team fighter where you can find some plays with your flash. And I can't count. Everyone knows that, so Lord knows it would kill me if I ever had to see him in a minion wave.
Yeah, counting to 7, not gonna happen. One of my favorite champions to cast, because just watching Nico run around the map on some random thing that is not supposed to be running around is just makes me laugh every single time.
Oh shoot, I'll do it. And I gotta ask you $1 million question. Okay. What a baby. Go back to Ari. Do you think Abarn paid $500? Do you think he made the deposit?
I don't know, man. I cannot speak to such things on a live broadcast.
But the skin, man, you gotta get that Ari skin.
Here's the Swain train. We got a little chugga choo choo going. Dude, I love the Swain. Swain is he's a great champion, pushes well, scales well, just once again changes the game. I always love champions that change the way you have to play. Nico's one of them. Swain's also one of them, because you just have to deal with the sustain. Chuck grabbing the Zac once again. I actually think that might be a bit of a problem. I think them continuing to give him Zac, he can do a lot of damage with that champion, sustain through. And I almost I don't know if they're like, don't want to prioritize taking that away from him, but he made a lot of things happen on that Zac, and I don't know if he would have been able to do that on another champion.
It's just like a very comfortable, pretty meta tank that, like, when you itemize with the passive, it's just awesome. And then, yes,
it's Zac Top.
Zac Top. It's time to see it. I'm happy to see this.
Okay, I stand corrected. We're gonna see Chuck on something else, and it's gonna be Vi. Vi very strong right now. We saw Teague on Vi in their last series, so Vi can do a lot of damage. The one thing is that the what's going on here? We have a clause. Might have been the old client bug where someone picked something they weren't supposed to pick. Or
I was thinking about that Vi pick, and I was like, when you see a Vi pick, you probably don't want to see it into like a Swain, to be honest, because I kind of like Swain doesn't mind with the sustain that he has with his ultimate and everything else, just to be like, okay, you can hold me. That's not the end of the world. So it kind of deprioritizes who exactly a Vi can engage on. I'd be curious to see if the bug was around the Vi. If it's not, I'm not a big fan of the Vi here, though. Like you said, it is a good champion that in the early game can definitely snowball a bit other lanes. That said, if you get to a decent mid game point and the Vi's not that far ahead, it's going to be tough to pick out a target with Abarn picking a pretty heavy sustain, fairly tanky mid laner as is.
Well, we are getting word. We are, I'm just this just in breaking news that was supposed to be Rel, so it is
Yeah,
not
that makes a lot
Vi.
more sense to
It
me.
is Rel. So once again, the classic off the leash. Press all of your buttons and dogpile, pun intended, on top of the enemy team. That
Yep.
is Rel in a nutshell. Super aggro lane as well. Nomad definitely comfortable on that champion. So we'll be getting back into game shortly.
Yeah, and Chuck
So
again, like we talked about, being on his comfort, probably going to be the Zach then, and Rel being a strong pick as is right now too, I think makes a lot more sense. Vi, I was seeing the Vi, and I was like, okay, I mean it's a meta-ish jungler. At the same time, I don't think it plays well in Abarn, so I'm curious where their head was at for that. Makes a lot more sense. Rel, I think, is just a good team fighting support, so that checks out. Math is there.
Yep, we are there. We are seeing R, we are seeing go, go, go. The various spams are in. We're gonna see a very, very quick go through. Let's get back to it, y'all. Let's see that Rel lock, and yeah, let's move on. But you mentioned it before that you're expecting a pretty explosive series, especially after that game one. And yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Especially with Chuck, that's his job. Go in there, take the damage, be disruptive, and try to go in.
Yeah, he was effective on it, you know? He really was.
Yeah, no, he played fantastic, and that's going to be what they're going to move through. I also love seeing I'll take mid on a playmaker for his 2 titles. That's how he's winning. He's not winning on a immobile caster. He can play them, right? Like he's a Masters player. He can pretty much play anything at this point. But you know, it's someone like a Nico or a Diana or an Echo where he can just do clever things and just bamboozle his opponent. That is where he is going to succeed, and it just opens so much up for his team.
And we talked about it in the game 1 draft too. I mean, these mid laners have some pretty good pools, so not surprising to see that they have the options to play a bunch of different champs, like you mentioned. I mean, mid's a very competent player across the board, so putting him on whatever mage he feels comfortable and makes sense to him, I think he'll be happy with. Getting into the picks here, should see the Rel picked here. What they're going to answer to. This is back to what we don't know.
Yep. Well, I mean, what we do know is that they're going to have to figure out a response to the classic Smash Mouth comp of engage, fight, drop the damage, with the Nico flank as an option. I would assume they're going to go for a similar style where it's kind of the 1-3-1. We see the Twitch being hovered. Talon was great on that Twitch, so it is going to be, they're going to run it back with the Twitch and Nautilus. The AD, however, and I'd mentioned this before, they picked, off the leash, picked the Ezreal early, this time saving a little bit for Caridian to see what he wants to do against this Twitch. I'm assuming it's going to be something a bit more aggro, a bit more of a bully as Pantheon is taken off the table.
Yeah, I think they kind of looked at themselves in the mirror and said, you know what, at the end of the day, I don't think Twitch was the issue. Certainly was probably one of the reasons that the game was as close a fight as it was. I agree with you, though. I'm not probably as big on an Ezreal pick here. I don't think it was obviously a problem, per se. Definitely don't get me wrong there. Caridian played it pretty well. But if they could find something that maybe either, like you said, has a little more bully potential, I think something that they could maybe potentially look to do, especially playing a Nico or something like that. Maybe a Varus opportunity, playing with the poke. They do ban Kai'Sa, who Caridian's very comfortable on.
They're thinking a little bit the same thing. I made a bit of a face because I saw the Vi ban as well, which was, yeah, okay. I can see that being a problem. So that tells me that they may be going for something immobile, something that Caridian showed that he was pretty nasty on. Also a hyperscaler is Mr. Dragon. So we could be seeing that as well, with maybe not as concerned about some of the early laning and saying, hey, let's scale into infinity and just, you know, maybe do a little bit of a handshake lane. If Rel hits something, great. If Nautilus hits something, great. Then, you know, but yeah, I don't know, because Smolder can absolutely scale as we see Gragas being pushed in. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a run back.
The salty run back,
yeah.
I'm smelling the salty run back here. At the same time, like, Twitch and lane he's strong, man. Like, with press the attack where it is, Vayne being hovered. I'm not gonna say anything just yet, but
yeah, let's let Caridian
I don't think they have the luxury of Seraphine.
They need more damage.
They need some AD. Yeah, they need some.
Yeah, where are they gonna get the damage from? Okay.
And okay, I like Jinrel. That's a good lane.
Yeah,
and like you said,
we're talking about bully lanes. That's a bully lane.
Yeah, big time, big time. All right. I mean, I like that. I think Jhin is probably a better pick for what they're looking to do here than Ezreal, probably, in terms of team fighting, being able to fight in the lane and not let Twitch just get, either A, free farm, or B, the opportunity to kind of abuse the lane if there's some potential for picks with the new pressy attack and frankly the amount of damage that exists in League right now. Twitch is pretty strong and Set. Okay.
Yep, so it looks like we're going to see and Set is a steal away from Hippo, Set one of his primary champions. So Hippo a little bit down on his pool right now. I mean, he does have Mundo. He could grab Mordekaiser again. Mordekaiser actually kind of kicks the crap out of Set, so if I'm him, just grab Mordekaiser. I mean, Set is going to be pretty powerful. Oh boy, the Yone. They do need some AD, so I guess, oh no, actually they don't really. Okay, fine, Yone, let's go. Yone Set. Set, unfortunately, I gotta call this out. Set kicks the crap out of Yone.
Yeah, you can't help it. I mean, Hippo only wants to play 2 champions, whether or not he says it out loud or not. Yasuo and Yone, and I guess Amar finally unleashed him off of it, and we're gonna see a Yone top. Very interesting.
I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't feel great about it, I'll be honest, but hey, you know what? He's comfortable on it, so if he can run away with it, I'm going to be looking like a little bit of a doof. He's going to be looking like a man who ate well, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know this match. I know this matchup pretty darn well. Set can just straight up at a certain point, early in the lane, he can just walk up to Yone and just E him, against a minion and just kick the crowd up. He just wins the trade. There's no skill even involved. It's just walk up, E, hit QQ, and then that's it. So Hippo's going to have to be super duper careful about that. And he's going to have to stall out. Also with the Zac, they're going to be looking to snowball this one early. Especially with Jhin and Rel being able to bully out Twitch and Nautilus. I think Nico's going to have a pretty good time early against Swain. So that top lane matchup kind of scares me as something that's going to really require Tasty Crab Legs to burn a lot of resources. And they may not be able to get the scaling train moving as well as they would, but I do think off the leash, and I really like their comp, I think they're going to be able to get snowballed very, very quickly.
Now, I'm a firm believer the top lane doesn't actually exist because I don't believe it does. Now, I'm going to ask your opinion on something here.
Okay.
How does Poppy do in the set? Because I'm looking at this comp, and like they had obviously the counter. They picked Yone last. I feel like Poppy with the Rel and the Zac, to me, that just what he eaten. Like with the Gragas as well to stop so much of the engage that they're looking to make happen here. I mean, we'll see how Yone does. I'm not going to flame it before it even happens or anything here. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just kind of curious, like what other picks might have been discussed in their draft,
Well, okay, so there's 2 things we could talk about. Number one is theoretically what picks would have been better, and then we could talk about theoretically what picks could Hippo have played because he's not a Poppy. He's never really played Poppy. Someone that he could look into. I'm just trying to think of what he's played before. He's played Jax before. He's played Gwen before. He's played Aatrox, although I don't think he was as strong as Aatrox. I'm just thinking of champions that he's done, decent on that he could potentially bring in. I think Jax could definitely kind of do that dance a little bit, just because Set is such an auto attack based champion. It's a skill matchup though for sure, and Set definitely takes it early. Gwen kind of gets the crap kicked out of her, although she can space out a little bit. But yeah, I think out of his pool or Mundo, and he just cleaver farms. The problem is they need something. They need kind of something else as a bit of a disruptor. But yeah, I mean, the other option is they grab Set earlier, which could have been the other option, is grab Set away from Calbert. You're giving Calbert a counter pick, but because Set is not only a great grab for Calbert, he's also one of Hippo's main champions, and Hippo's great on Set.
Now,
so that's
what if's aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I do. What if's aside now? I'm gonna pose it over to you before we jump into game. About 30 seconds here.
Okay. Do we have Gamba going?
What are your Hyundai unsponsored keys to the victory, and who's coming out on top here? Are we going to Silver Scrapes? Are we looking at it too? What are you seeing?
If we get those sponsors,
man, we're kind of
I will 100% sell out and say Hyundai keys to the game. The Hyundai, and it has to be whatever the key technology is,
Hyundai, talk to Jaws. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. The Hyundai, yeah, exactly. Anyway, now powered by AI because everything is. The Hyundai keys to the game on the side of off the leash is they need to smash lane early. Like they need to smash lane hard. They need to get They need to be controlling. I think that bot lane needs to get absolutely out of control. I think that Twitch needs to be just hating life under turret, kind of like last game, but a little bit more. And I think Calvert just needs to YOLO Dolo Hippo. And I think if those two things happen, I think they're going to be in a really good position. And they just need to really just rev the engine and get going.
Oh,
And
let's go. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. Rev the engine, he says. I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, because with Hyundai engines,
okay.
Hyundai, it's the way to be. I don't
Sponsored by Hyundai. Yeah. Not actually sponsored by Hyundai. Yeah, 100%.
Sponsor, not a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we actually lost money because now Hyundai is suing us. So.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That said, looks like no invade, no cheese gonna happen. They were looking for the no leash push into the bot lane, which I do respect, but should be normal lane assignments, no leash maybe potentially here. The biggest fear you have with a Twitch leashing, yep, getting that blue buff on the Twitch. So I always like to at least call it out so we can look like savants if it does happen.
Oh yeah, no, you always gotta look smarter. We look like we look like we're looking ahead, and oh man, we were so smart. We are the prophets, but no, we're just making educated guesses here.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah, I don't know. Loosive, what are your totally not sponsored Hyundai's key to the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna say my Honda big play moments here are going to be in the bot lane. If the Jhin, coming through. Little trade back. Okay, hold on.
The big play moment. Good damage, but on the support, you always want to get those 80 health bars down early, but Nomad doing a good job. Excuse me, IREP doing a good job. I'm so not used to seeing IREP on a regular champion that it's like, wait, he's on Nautilus. What is going on here?
Yeah, I think though, seriously, to answer your question here, I think if the bot lane can get ahead, if Caridian can get some kills on Jhin, if Chuck can be impactful early, hook under turret here, gonna be able to get a lot of trade damage. Talon's still level 1 though, which I'm not quite sure how he is level 1. Doesn't have his E.
He is still level 1.
Doesn't have his E. He's level 1. Ah, boy.
Ignited.
Wow. Wait, E. Flash
no.
for Caridian! Let's do it!
For Caridian, and the counter flash coming in, and it looks like this is actually going to be a cleanup for Teague. Caridian incredibly low for first pop. He's got the W. He's going to get his E up pretty soon. There it is. So that's going to be a turnaround kill. So 1 for 2 in favor of Tasty Crab Legs. You mentioned before, those are the keys, and yeah, keys are definitely in the hands of Tasty Crab Legs.
Oh, I am screaming at Teague if I am Talon, by the way, for taking that kill. There was no flash on the rail, and he's still body slammed for it. I think with the speed boost of the Q from Twitch there, he had the kill in hand. But, it works out well. 2 kills over there. Some good fighting in the bot lane. There is a kill for first blood, at least going to Caridian, flashing forward to execute with the 4th shot, which you'll love to see. But what can you do?
No, I mean, and able to get the kill and able to get the double longsword. So you see continuing to bully in. I'm actually kind of interested to see if they're going to choose. Oh no, as we see, Hippo is actually winning the early matchup. So Calvert, he's got to be careful. I mean, Yone is still a strong champion if you get hit by all of his things. So while yes, Set definitely has an advantage if he does the things that he wants to do, you do still need to make sure that you're not just getting hit by everything. So just fun fact in League of Legends, if you get hit by things, it's not as great. As we see Flash coming out from Hippo, Calvert running in. We see
Calvert though.
Down. Flash is able to pull back in, and Teague is rolling in from the counter engage. Hippo kind of dashing in and out. Great
good counter.
Hippo's going in, and this is potentially going to be double buffs down the tubes. Little Chuck is actually just going to be able to get away, run back into his jungle, and just get out of there. So that is a kill another kill onto Teague. Teague all over the place and just making his mark on this dragon.
Yeah, really nicely done from Hippo there too, playing it nice and slow, able to get away from the fight being an all-out and get. Although Calvert now is going to be able to fight potentially. No, not quite. Giving him some respect here.
He's a stun. Whenever you're running past the minion wave at set, you need to just do the bonk, right? They conk heads.
Yeah.
That is literally the most brain dead set trade. Is just you walk up, you conk them against a minion, you auto reset QQ, and that's it. And then you walk away.
Oh, we gotta stay top lane here. Teague is setting himself up to really make Calvert mad, especially if Hippo TP's into it. He's staying there top side. I don't know if he's gonna stay the whole time or just recall. Alright, respect.
Every time Calvert walks up to try to fight Hippo and he doesn't conk him against the minion wave, I'm gonna die. side because but I will say having done that literally for an entire series, and then someone finally DM'd me and was like, "Hey, dude, are you aware of the fact that if you conk the champion against the mini wave, it's a stun?" And I'm like, "Oh." It's like, oh,
The
that
day
makes
you
sense.
learned.
And then I learned, and then I was like, wow, this lane's a lot easier. As
Chuck
you see,
diving
Chuck
in.
actually flying in, getting a kill onto A-Barn, so I'll take mid. David rolling. I want to see the other key to the game is going to be those Nico roams. How is I'll take mid going to be able to take advantage of the deception, of the trickery as he backs off? It's going to be even teleports, but assist in favor of I'll take mid.
Yeah, Calbert level 6 though, does have some priority in the lane. Hippo obviously got the kill, but still needs a little time to get to his most important ability. Gonna give it a little bit of slow time here. Chuck has been, again, we talked about his impact that he's making. He's been available for ganks, getting mid ahead. Oh, and Talon's in a rough spot.
Talon out of position.
No flash.
No flash, and see you later. That's a Caridian bullet to the head. They're going to be able to cover their escape with a Gragas barrel, but that's going to be another kill onto Talon, not having quite the snowball game that he wanted to, and Caridian getting ahead exactly the way he wanted to.
Another solo Bolo in the top lane.
Yup, and that's what we wanted. That's what you want to see from the Set versus Yone matchup. So nice to see Calbert doing it. We missed it, but I'm assuming that it involved a stun on a menu. But hey, don't quote me.
Did the bonking appropriately that time. Gave him what he needed.
If you bonk appropriately, you will get a kill.
It's all about the bonk, man. It's all about the bonk. But yeah, seriously, nice play bot lane to get that kill onto on a Talon there. Caridian needs to do more of that. Get that Jhin ahead early, and you can have a lot of impact. That champion, especially early game, gets to the collector quickly and can definitely snowball, as we're going to see. Trading of both side objectives. Looks like it should be Void Grubs for a dragon.
Yeah, it's going to be Void Grubs for the dragon. So I try so hard not to say TCL because I just don't give them the satisfaction. Tasty crab legs, but then I forget the full team, man. Tasty crab legs, grabbing the Void Grub. So
hey, did you see that minion, by the way? There's a minion in the river. Just throwing it out there.
Rick, I swear to God, every time.
Look at that minion. Look at that minion.
Yeah. Oh, here he comes. Here
comes the minion.
Let's go.
That's an intense melee minion.
Talon getting knocked up. Chuck gets the pulling, gets the kill again. He is king kill steal right now. I'll take mid. First roam successful. You'll love seeing a minion out of position and ignoring its assignment. It's going AWOL. It's not a minion. It's Nico. As we see Calbert trying to push Hippo off the wave, starting to move ahead.
Oh,
IREP running for his life now. Gonna be able to get away on that longer engage. But yeah, that was what I was talking about. When we see I'll take mid on a mobile playmaker and a roamer, that is when he is special. And Nomad, speaking of being special, coming into the mid lane, his roams have been fantastic. I know that didn't quite work out, but just the pressure that he's applying, he is a special player. He has shown time and time again this season, despite being a rookie, just how good his instincts are in terms of protecting his carries and finding opportunities.
Yeah, and I don't know. How long has this game been in production, but Riot still hasn't figured out the coding of their melee minions. That's just disgusting, man. That pisses me off a little bit, I gotta say. But
watch them like rub up against each other while they just
it's just crazy to see a melee minion in the river like that. You just hate to see it, but really,
oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Nicely played from mid there to get the kill bot, which we said our Hyundai keys to the game had to get that bot ahead early, and they were able to.
Have we decided yet? Oh no,
I don't know.
There's Calbert trying to get away, but great W to try to survive. Ulties under the turret and gets away. That is an expert set play, input buffering the shield and then using the mobility of his sumo slam to keep himself away. They're gonna go for the tower dive, and it looks like Calbert is sticking around, so we might see some coast-to-coast action. This Caridian goes incredibly low, but a long range 2v3, call it 2.5. Talon goes down again, and here comes the curtain call, able to push IREP back, and it looks like this is gonna be a for nothing as we see, the long range. I think you're a little bit ahead of me, but Caridian 3-1. Wow. What?
No, I wasn't Eddie. I was trying not to be that guy, but those whiffed ulti shots are kind of like, well, what are we gonna do in here? What are we doing here? But he does hit the shot that matters, ends up being the W. Who needs your ultimate key anyway?
Yeah, that's true. Teague chasing Calbert down, does have the vision, gets the pop. Gragas so much base damage, especially once he takes a swig. Calbert not able to get the stun down. Flash flop over the wall. Barrel, see you later. Beautiful play by Teague. Love watching a Gragas in action.
That was nice, man. Yeah, some players, man, I watched them play, and I'm like, dang, they got it. They got that it factor, and I think Teague does when he's when he's locked in, man, making those plays that he needs to make. A nice flash E to secure the kill there, and you know, stabilize the top lane a bit because Calber was starting to get a little hyphy with some of those outplays earlier.
Oh, for sure. And I cannot count how many times, as a Gragas player, I personally, and I'm sure every person who's ever played Gragas can relate, trying to flash flop and you just hit a minion first. Because you're like, probably over, it's fine, I'm flashing, and you just hit the minion and the person just kills you as you try to walk away, embarrassed. Teague yet to do that so far. If we see it, we will tease him mercilessly for it, but has not done it yet. And like you said, Teague's got that swag, and his scoreline is showing it. So that said, as we're approaching the 11-minute mark, pretty large lead from off the leash. You know,
they're in a good
get
spot.
ahead on this one. As we see Chuck looking to fly in from A-Barn, does end up canceling it away. But yeah, off the leash they are riding that momentum, and they punishing the absolute crap out of this Talon's Twitch. Such a coin flip from the last time when Twitch was, I think, 6-0 at this point. As we see Chuck starting up the Voidy Drubs, so they're going to be able to grab them this time.
Yeah, Chuck has really accelerated both his bot lane and mid lane here, so great jungling from him. I know we talked about it being like, oh, you know, maybe Teague has the advantage in the jungle, but Chuck wasn't here in any of it and has been playing lights out tonight, so got to give him some props to clear the grubs pretty much on command here. Bot lane's pushing in. Teague's going to try and look to do something. I don't know if anything's really available. Yep, goes flying back home.
Yeah. Oh, there's someone there. There's Nico buffering in onto the ulti, but the barrel does land. Can we please see that?
Here comes Jin. Here's a big fight.
A-Barn is going to be flying in, so that's going to be a dead mid, and for a dead
Ooh, Chuck.
here, A-Barn goes down. Double kill for Caridian.
Quadra.
Caridian is absolutely on one right now.
Yep.
3v2 situation, but this is just going to be a cleanup, because the Twitch does not have any items. Blast cones to get away. Chuck in pursuit, and the rest of the team is there. So we're gonna see a 3-for-1 double kill for Caridian.
That was a full quadra. That was a full quadra, yeah.
Oh, it was a delayed quad?
Yeah,
you're right.
quad.
Delayed quad for Caridian. That's absolutely nasty.
Yeah, that is exactly what they needed to do there. Well played from him, getting all the gold funneled in over to the Jin, and that's going to be a very, very big problem for Tasty Crab Legs, not TCL, to deal with and manage, as they're going to also, having picked up the Void Grubs, pick up a Dragon here too, which is very impactful.
Yeah, and off the leash, very different game, just absolute objective control. I think at this point, Tasty Crab Legs.
I don't know if they want this fight again. I mean,
and they're just going to start fighting. This is not
the here.
They want. Mid is coming in for the flank. Irip is completely isolated. He's going to go down almost immediately as the Dragon goes down as well. Talon is rooted. I'll take mid, able to land it. Chuck goes deep.
Passive.
The rest of the team is kind of low. They're probably going to need to get out of there. Nomad decides, I'm going to go back in. But
big play
with a massive hit. Everybody's going
low.
Oh my!
Winning
with a double crit. Another double kill for him. Excuse me. Nico actually getting that one.
We'll flash the wall. Flash the wall, Caridian.
I will say, even though Chuck is having himself a better...
Let's do it.
Teague is the king of the button presses. Are we going to see it? Oh, Caridian's just...
They don't have a wave. They need to get out of there. Caridian's in a lot of danger. What is Nomad doing?
Oh, no.
Oh, we got hooked. Oh, this is so bad. It's gone so bad.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to see a support fight an AD for a while. Can we please see the support fighting the AD in the bot lane? Show me the...
Come on, Jin! Get out of there!
Come in the chase, because Caridian's...
Oh, does he get the kill?
Yeah, he got it! Oh, that's why I wanted to see that. Oh my god, this is just ridiculous. Caridian, 8-1-4, 14 minutes in. Take a bow, my friend. You are having an incredible game.
You know what? And props to us for just driving these keys to the game. Owen basically 10 bot lane, and the Jin is massive.
You know what, Loosive, when you look in your rear view mirror, when you look back on this game, what are you going to be seeing?
Well, I think right now I'm looking at all the runway that's still ahead here as mid tries to get out of a fight as Chuck comes in.
Yeah, another great ulti coming in, able to split the team. The barrel being used to run away. A-Barn actually getting knocked out mid on a killing spree, goes down himself.
Passive.
Able to get the return kill. Chuck just trying to survive, but Gragas is just a drunk man on a rampage, and Teague says, "See you later. I heard you, casters. I'm still here."
Yeah, no, I mean, look, life is a highway. That fight was pretty close. I got to give it the credit there. Like, you want to fight with the Jhin right now, who is so far ahead. A full BF on top of his collector at 15 minutes is exactly where you want to see it. What he can do with his lead, we'll see some more. Nomad looking top lane. Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
15.5 minutes in, we're seeing the Herald there, but here we go. It's going to be a 2v2. Teague and Hippo jumping in. Hippo lands the ulti. Calbert trying to take as much as he possibly can. Teague goes low. Sumo slam. See you later. Calbert goes down.
Abar's TP though.
Hippo's continuing to chase, but no, sir. You must snap back.
Time to go. Abar's here. Time to go.
Oh, sorry. Suplex, not sumo. My bad. I misread that one.
Hippo went back in. No, Chuck showed up.
A grand super duper suplex as Chuck actually gets credit for the kill on the Hippogriff. And this Herald is going to go down as well. Actually, he's more time until the Herald goes down. Chuck has
got a little time. I think it's like 17, 16 minutes.
Okay, yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah, he got trolled last time, so
yeah,
he's making sure that he secures this one this time before the Baron, Big Daddy Baron pops.
Also, we missed it, but Caridian died so low to the Twitch, which is not what you want to see.
No, able to grab the collector. Twitch starting his Bork, and Talon no slouchable player himself, so making sure that he knows what he needs to do and just getting his scaling and just stopping the bleeding, getting his farm, doing a pretty good job of
big solo kill.
Farm, getting a solo kill. That's a big bounty. So making sure that he's able to do that and just be frankly useful.
Yeah, no, that's a very important solo kill there to keep himself in the game, and Caridian was worth a lot of gold being 8-1 as he was, so finding that opportunity, it seems, on the Twitch, going stealth, taking advantage of the Jhin, and yeah, we'll see how it keeps playing out as the minions are hard to count, but Abar was ready there.
Out. When in doubt, just assume she's there. That's what I typically do. Just okay, yeah, she's probably there. But it's tough as we see Deathmarch going down on a Caridian. Talon rolls in, gets the boost from the heal, but nothing doing, and they're able to just walk away. No summoners burned, and yeah, but even though one solo kill, Talon's a little bit back into it, that's still a very fed Jhin, so he's going to take a ton of health bar as we see him getting hit by IREP. Mid is there, roaming down, Chuck as well. IREP able to dodge the snare. This is a 4-person party for off the leash. Everybody is invited. And they're just going to look to knock down this bot outer turret and try to continue to accelerate this game state. Abar in there as well. Rest of the team in retreat. Good sight.
They brought Hippo down now.
Calbert should stay top. They're just going to back off.
Yeah, Calbert's got Rift here. They should definitely stay top. They're going to be able to get a lot of gold from just all this posturing. I mean, whether or not you even get a dragon over.
Can I see the tower? It looks like Hippo may waste that.
Oh, he's TP'd in.
Now he'll get it.
Now they got the dragon fight to at least fight for, not soul point yet, but putting him on soul point. Calbert will have a TP advantage to get to that fight. They should probably look to take this dragon in the next couple of minutes if they can.
Yeah, and Calbert should look to fight. He wants to keep Hippo top. He's going to have a little bit of an item advantage, a little bit of a ability and power advantage until Hippo gets that second big item. Hippo opting for, looks like a Kraken Slayer, whereas Stridebreaker on the side of Calbert. So Hippo hovering around on the top river. I'm really looking at that matchup right now as compared to the Dragon. As you said, Calbert's going to have a thing, but there is the Stridebreaker, and Calbert's just A-okay to just walk through and just kick the crap out of Hippo, although Hippo getting the better of this right now. There's the suplex rolling in. Calbert just chunking Hippo out. Could get the stun. The minions are following. Oh, not able to do it. Does get the speed boost.
He's hustling. He's in there. Look at the move.
He's doing his best. I don't know if he burned his E and it was just on cooldown, but it actually would have been perfect because he actually hit the minions. But nothing doing.
Dragon though, very important.
Grabbing their third dragon, sub 20 minutes. They're at soul point, sub 20 minutes. That's wild. Cloud Drake, not as great, but I will say in that 1v1, Calbert could have used some move speed.
It's very big on the Jhin, though, we have to say. Like, move speed on Jhin, letting him be active, run around almost like a Zeri with the crits and everything else is actually pretty impactful. As they're fighting behind the turret now, looking for a bit of a dive. It's a 4v3. I'm not sure if they necessarily want this, but they're going to look for it.
Oh, they certainly are. Nico is there. Chuck Nomad and Caridian. Excuse me, Nico is not there. Chuck Nomad and Caridian. Nomad going down. There's mid with the clone. The rest of them are just going to walk away. So Nomad looks like a little bit of a miscommunication. Do we go in? Do we not go in? Potentially trying to stall to try to get this turret to go down. And it looks like the turret... Oh no! It's very close. I think it's got to be single-digit HP. It's pretty close.
1 HP.
Can I see how much health it has? Just click it. Okay.
25?
Not,
75?
yeah, about 100, a little less than 100.
75?
I think 3 or 4 little minion. Minions.
Oh wait, can we stay bot? I think Jin might die here. Hold on. We got the 1v1.
Oh yeah, here comes Critty. Critty
Oh, big
flash from Talon. This barrier pops from Critty.
Oh, nice flash again.
I'll take mid, going in, going down. Curtain call pops. There's a dead Talon. So I'll take mid with the clutch teleport to get Caridian out of danger. But while that happened, Chuck trying to like, oh, great stop from Gragas, getting the pop. No CC. Abron gets pulled in. Action all over the map as you see a 1v1 again. That's probably gonna be that entire lane the entire time. Depth charge being popped. Chuck tanking a ton of damage, but he's a tanky boy. He'll be just fine. So hold on mid. Bot outer goes down for off the leash. 3,000, a little bit less than 3,000, and soul point coming up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some battling back and forth. Nicely done from Chuck to keep the turret alive and not make it a uneven trade for the bot turret that they were able to pick up. Nice TP from mid to keep his buddy Caridian alive, because it looked like, for all intents and purposes, Talon had himself another solo kill opportunity with the Twitch, but was able to negotiate the fight just enough to keep it even, keep him alive, and eventually Caridian was able to get a kill. As he gets the turret here, another engage.
Yeah.
Twitch is going to be engaging. They don't have quite enough. If Caridian can get some damage down, we might see it extend here. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Oh, big minion!
And grabbing two and just chunking them down. The trickery is in full effect. Talon gets deleted. The barrel hits no one. And Caridian knocking IREP out of the fight as well. 3 for nothing. Double kill for Nico, and that is all take mid. Doing what he does best as Hippo has to burn his ulti to get away. Cop outer absolutely going down, and Calbert in the driver's seat in this match.
Oh, those are big plays. Mid is looking amazing on the Nico here. Teague just getting out. Nicely played from the Gragas there with the Zonias. I mean, this has gotten a little out of hand for the Tasty Crab Legs. They already have bounties on the exterior turrets and every other objective on the map, and we'll see how much of a snowball OTL can make. Calbert is just kind of running rampant on this Hippogriff pick of the Yone, not being able to show its stuff just yet.
Yeah, not quite able to do what he wants to do, and he is getting close to that 2-item spike where Yone becomes a problem, but he's just not there yet, and Calbert taking full advantage, effectively winning the lane, opening that up, and you can yeah, Hippo just starting to need some help. It looks like IREP and Talon are going to go for the swap, and so you may see once the teleport is back on, Calbert's going to back off, switch to the bot side, but for the side of off the leash, great map state for them. They've got all their outers down. They're able to kind of decide where they want to go. Total reversal from what you normally see from the Tasty Crab Legs. 23 minutes and Dragon's up in about a minute. Baron is online, and I'll take mid. As you said, just phenomenal on this Nico, finding 2 and 3 people per ulti and just maximizing the deception plays.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big hopium-copium kind of guy just because of how my split's been going, but I mean, the only thing I can say here that looks at least kind of nice is if theoretically Hippo can keep scaling as a side lane threat, if Twitch can get back to that 4-item state that we saw last game, it really can be anyone's game. So I'm not writing anyone off yet, but a nice strong advantage, and the soul point already at 20 minutes that we had highlighted earlier is going to make that clock be just even more accelerated. Now, again, often more hopium, like we also talked about. At least it's a Cloud Drake, so it's like not an Infernal Soul or something like a Mountain Soul, but it is something of an objective that they're going to have to worry about.
I think that's the classic hopium. The League Legends. Oh, guys, don't worry, we scale. Just farm, we'll scale. So that's, I mean, and to be fair to Tasty Crab Legs, they have everything they need to scale. They've got a Twitch, they got a Swain, they got a Yone. So they have a lot of opportunities to scale. They just need to make sure that they don't lose an inhibitor before they do. Because if they lose an inhibitor, that's where problems are going to start. But if they can keep kind of managing these waves, letting them go in, being disruptive, maybe T gets a steal, that is absolutely where we could see this game turn around, or maybe over on engage as we see teleport coming in from the backside.
It misses.
Yep, off the leash is there, but massive damage, big damage on both sides, but just not as much.
Which is autoing free.
Here comes Talon. Talon is swinging free in the back, so we've got a 3 for 2 in favor of off the leash. Re-engage from Chuck into the back. Talon somehow alive, but eventually I'll take mid. Unstoppable. Caridian's alive. So you got the tank and the big beefy carries still kicking. Dirty Ace. That's
die to the dragon.
That's soul.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was just a bit of a wallet throw. It looked like such a good fight for Talon being able to free swing in the back there. He did so much damage, all that he could, but when the tanks are just a little bit behind, when your carries are just not quite doing the same amount of damage that Mid and Gradient are doing with the items that they have, it just wasn't enough for that fight. And yeah, Soul going down. They're picking up Mid. Second tier turret here. Baron's probably next on the plate. Tough spot as they do at least get a bit of a hook on the mid, looking for a pick. We'll see.
Oh no!
Oh, Barrel not going to quite do it.
Just out of range. He almost got that one, but that was just unfortunate.
That was close, wasn't it? Yeah. You know what? Cloud Soul. He moved too quick.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Good call out, right? He was he was just outside of that center spot where it'll usually give it to you, but yeah, not quite able to get, because I think he was trying to get at least the pin on the wall. As we see Hippo getting jumped on, but this is a 2v3. Although I don't really think they care at this point.
Oh, brother.
Rolling in another 2v3, and they say, yeah, we don't really care. Double teleport coming in, so it's likely going to be I'll take mid. Yeah. Oh wow, just took a face full of that at that point. So they're going to have to back off. I don't know what they took, what I'll take mid took a face full of, but that was an owie right out of the teleport.
Yeah, a lot of damage on the Jhin. Gonna actually open up here. Looking at IREP, looking at Teague. I think IREP's dead to rights. Teague is very low. Nice stun from Nomad.
That's gonna be, that's
gonna get him.
Yup, see you later. Teague's low. This is going to be probably a Baron. I'm not quite sure who would be able to stop it, because Calvert is just solo pushing up the way, and they're taking 2v3, 2v4 situations, and they are not scared at all. Abarn getting rooted. Caridian, while he's taking Baron, is able to root Abarn and help Calvert get away. Heads up play from the Omni threat, because that's the only way I can describe Caridian, because I think he plays absolutely every role in this game.
Oh, big engage.
Rolling in, big damage. See you later. 3 dead. More to come. I'll take mid. Goes golden. Somehow survives, and Baron on top of it.
Oh, and Hippo flashes. Oh, he went for the clone.
Oh,
no.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, and Caridian just adding insult to injury. That's going to be another kill. IREP, one of the last people standing. Hippo's there as well, but the Baron's up minions as Nomad rolls in. Gonna try to give Caridian as much as he possibly can take. Oh man, Caridian!
Yep,
These bullets are just dropping.
That is Jhin right there, man. He's got his 3 items, big damage. Hippo stands no chance, sitting on just 1.5 here at 30 minutes is not ideal, and I think IREP's probably next to go. A little far forward. Down doing what he can, but he just doesn't have the items that he had last game, and the front line is so strong.
Yeah, and I've said before, the main comeback requirement is going to be an inhibitor needs to stay up. The middle inhibitor is down. They do have that Baron as well, and they are just not scared of this tasty crab leg squad. They're going to rotate immediately into the top side. Calvert with the heads up play, pushing down the bottom lane turret, and before, while Baron was happening, as we see the final stand rolling in. Nico only gets one. Teague trying to survive.
Caridian.
It is just too much. This is going to be a 2-0 route of the undefeated Tasty Crab Legs off the leash, largely considered to be one of the biggest threats to the Tasty Crab Legs dominance on the back of the All Take Mid and Caridian combo. The whole team showed up, and they put Tasty Crab Legs back into the losers column.
Wow, what a series from OTL. Absolutely dominant in Game 2 after a strong comeback performance in Game 1. I think probably we have to say took a bit of the mental edge there. But wow, they got it done. I mean,
yeah, we don't need
don't worry about the client. Yeah, don't worry about the client.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hi everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. Minor technical difficulties. Loosive's pure charisma just crashed the internet. Cloudflare just couldn't handle it. So anyway, we are going to be bringing in Chuck, MVP. We were saying before. So yeah, let's bring him in.
Yeah, Chuck. Oh God, here we go.
Here we go.
Yo, is this
hello? Yes, this is on. You are live. Congratulations. You are MVP for probably one of the biggest upsets of the season. First thoughts, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I didn't think that was much of an upset. Is that?
Well, it's the undefeated team. We're going to call it a technical upset. Yeah.
I think anytime you knock out an undefeated team, it's especially You know, especially when you guys had a really tough game one, and frankly, your clutch Baron steal was what brought you back. We were like, oh man, like they were, you know, y'all were definitely a little bit behind on that first game, but game two, you just brought it. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. I mean, who would have thought 3 years ago that I'd be sitting here in the MVP booth today over Teague, which I mean, shout out to him. He said it best, jungle gap. But no, that was, I mean, GG's. I'm so grateful to be back. We all played super well, so I'm happy to get my one MVP, and then I'll hand it off to someone else next week.
Hey, we always like to give credit where credit is due, and especially when you have a lot of people that just have these flashy plays, like I'll take mid just going absolutely bananas on Nico, but you really were one of the most reliable players, and I said it even before Champion Select started. You understood the assignment, right? And you,
Took the L.
Sorry, wrong button.
No, you're good. You're good hanging out. I was saying you understood your assignment, and it was just awesome to watch you really do what you needed to do to set up your carries to carry. So talk to me about that game one, because y'all were doing, you know, okay. The Twitch got a little out of control. It was back and forth for a while, and then you come in with the clutch steal. How are y'all feeling? What was the strategy? How did you handle that really close game?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I was just playing. Comms were a little quiet, and then yeah, the Baron came up, and I actually like messed up my E, but I managed to get into the Baron pit and kind of luckily got that smite. So there's really not much to say. We were definitely on our game two. So
Yeah, speaking of game two, was it like going in? How active a decision was it to like say, "Hey, Caridian, we're gonna need you to go ahead and put your party pants on and carry this one for us"? Because it felt like that was the idea. We talked about it, Jaws and I, here in our pregame about the bot lane being the lane to play through, mid lane as well. Just in terms of your pathing and stuff like that, what was kind of going through your head?
yeah, so what's awesome about our team is that we can strong set every lane. Like Calvert, by far the best top laner. Mid, by far the best mid laner. We have the best support, and then Caridian has been absolutely smurfing it. So it's super easy for me to play jungle because we can do any lane strong side, and you know they can carry. So it just so happened. I know Eli says something that I can't say on the stream about David's Ezreal, but his June is great, and it just so happened that I was able to camp the crap out of him. So if they're fed, it's easier for me to take it from there.
Yeah, you certainly did, and what I noticed was the 4-person party in the bot lane where you were working off of I'll take mid and ultimately looking so good on the Nico, able to roam, able to be deceptive, but especially on the top side where Calbert, it just seemed to have Hippo's number a little bit later in that matchup. We were actually debating between you and Calbert for MVP, but I was like, you know what, yeah, Chuck, I'd say you were just that little bit better and a little bit more reliable. So yeah, where did you try to focus your efforts? You mentioned you can pretty much go anywhere you want. Were you looking at it in terms of, champions we want to get moving? Were you looking at certain kind of top side, bottom side objectives? Because you just accelerate. I think you were at 80% kill participation at about 10 minutes, which is kind of bananas.
Yeah, so originally I was like, all right, I'm pathing bot to top. I'm just going to camp Hippo. If we can send him behind early, like that'll be game. And then obviously that level, or that minute 3 play where I tried to gank, but then they got 2 kills. I was like, well, I guess I'm going bot now. So, obviously amazing job from Calbert to be behind. And then, yeah, I don't know, he ended up getting a solo kill and then came back and was able to participate. Like that giant ult on Avon in the last team fight in front of the last dragon was huge. But after that, I was like, all right, I'm just going bot, and it was easy to just keep going. So it worked out.
Nice. Well, I gotta say, man, it was it's not with a, how do I put this? It's with a heavy heart, maybe isn't the word. It's tough for me to give you the MVP. I think Jaws and I both agree here, because it just is. But you played out of your mind, man.
Dude, I give credit where credit is due.
Oh, I'll pull myself into it. No worries then. But
hey,
Chuck, you played out of your mind.
Mister.
Your whole team played so well. So congratulations on a well-earned win. Excellent job in game 1 to keep the game alive with that Baron steal for sure, and then coming back game 2 just to roll bot mid for him. So, hey man, nicely done. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. I mean, shout out to Reddy too. He even said Chuck MVP. So if he's saying it, he's
the true hate watchers.
Something's going on. But I also heard from my one friend that shout out Rodney if he's listening. He doesn't play League, but he's been watching all the games, and he said that you guys were the best casters by far, and that is honest. So, obviously, thank you guys for spending your Father's Day, casting as well. So, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, well, thank you, man. This is fun. I really love it. It's fun to tell these stories and watch y'all, fight hard on the digital arena. It's not an easy game to play, and it's a hard game to play. It's a harder game to win. So I appreciate y'all kind of putting yourself through the ringer for our entertainment. Any final words for your friend and anybody else watching at home?
I think I will be expecting a Happy Father's Day card from Teague in the mail soon.
Oh, my.
There it is. Okay.
And other than that, I mean, GG's all around. It was a lot of fun.
There it is. Okay, thank you, Chuck. Congratulations. Celebrate with your team.
Love you guys. GG's.
All right, cheers. All right, there it is. Loosive, we got through it. We did it.
We did, man. We made it through a Chuck interview, and I feel like that above a cast or anything else is worthy of an MVP for us both and for Rick on production.
I was going to say more. We got through that series because I don't know how I survived going through that series without losing. I almost lost my voice because they just wouldn't stop fighting. It was unbelievable. Man. But yeah,
through the ringer.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, that's gonna do it for us tonight. As Loosive mentioned, shout out to Rick on production, doing what he does, fighting through the lords of the internet and his PC, just not wanting to keep it happening. Loosive, always a pleasure. This was so much fun. Thank you for casting with me on this glorious Sunday.
Of course, man. Happy Father's Day to everyone who was tuned into the stream. We appreciate you joining on a holiday like this, and hope everyone has a great night.
Yeah, exactly, y'all. On behalf of everybody that I just talked about, happy Father's Day, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow.